Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome. I thought today that I would give a little talk about dichroic glass. Now, the term dichroic comes from Greece, di meaning two, chroic meaning color. And I think there's a lot more than two colors going on here, but that's where the term dichroic came from. Now, this glass actually for dweebs like me has a really cool manufacturing process. Basically what happens is there's some kind of electron beam in a vacuum chamber that deposits metal oxides, layer of metal oxides onto a glass substrate. And these metal oxides, they come from aluminum and chromium, titanium metal oxides, some silica, all different kinds. And I think each one of those metal oxides gives off a particular wavelength of light. And that's how you get all of these shimmery, iridescent types of colors. Now, this glass is a lot of fun to use because it will change color based on the light that you're in. So it might look one way in the sunshine and it might look another way in the shade, and depending if you're standing differently, it'll change colors. So I'm going to go through this dichroic glass and kind of show you how to use it. It's a ton of fun. So let's get started. So basically, dichroic glass comes in 3 different flavors, and I buy my dichroic glass from a company called Riley Designs, and of course, I buy the C104 dichroic. So if you're working in COE 104, you want to buy the COE 104 dichroic to keep everything compatible. Now, the first flavor that Riley Designs has is a particular color on clear glass. And when you buy it, you will notice that one side of the dichroic is very rough. And that's the coating. That is the metal oxide coating that is on the dichroic. The other side will have just clear glass. And this is actually a really good example because it's just plain silver on clear, so you can really see it. But this one right here is my favorite. This is black cherry on clear. And, you know, my lighting, of course, I don't have the greatest photography set up, but you can see that cherry red. Now, when using these dichroic glass on clear, I like to put them on a dark background. Here's a black bead with the black cherry on it. And you can see that that dichroic color really pops out of the black. And I have a black bead here. I don't know if you can see that good. But the darker color beads are really good for the clear background dichroic. So I would use black, or maybe the dark cobalt lapis, or a dark brown, something dark. Because if you put it on a light color background, it actually shows blue. It'll give you a very iridescent, shimmery kind of look. You won't get that brilliant metallic iridescence. So I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but just depending on your bead design, know that you're going to get a different effect depending on if you use a dark colored base bead or a light colored base bead. Now, the second flavor of dichroic that is sold is on a black base. So there's the black glass, and there is the silver dichroic coating. Now, I don't use this very much. I came across Riley Designs at the Las Vegas Speed Show last year, and I bought a bunch of stuff that I didn't know what I was getting, and then I came home and had to figure out how to use it. So this guy is good if you want this rough part to be on the top of your bead. I usually encase all of my dichroic just because I don't feel comfortable having those metals exposed. But here's a little example of what I did. I just went ahead and made a base bead, and I encased it and smooshed it flat. And then I put a little robot on it so that it looks like a little robot in space. But that's how I use the black dichroic glass. Now, my most recent favorite of dichroic is these two-color dichroics, where you get one color on the top of the substrate and one color on the back of the substrate. And this one is called cyan copper. So you've got cyan on one side, which is the rough side, and then the copper is encased in the clear on the top. And you can get all kinds of different colors. This one, of course, cyan and copper. This one is cyan and red. I have this one here, blue, magenta blue, which is really, really pretty. So yeah, you can go to Riley Design's website, check out the different colors that they have. This stuff is so much fun. So let's go ahead and make a bead, and I'll show you how to put this on. So here we go. I just went ahead and made a little oval bead here of Creation is Messy Hades. And I am going to take this piece of dichroic, it says magenta blue on it. And let's just heat it up. Now, the most important thing that you need to remember about dichroic is when you put it in the flame, you want the clear glass side touching the flame. You don't want the raw coating side or the rough coating side touching the flame, because then that might burn off. So I always apply the flame to the clear glass side. And we're just going to go ahead and heat it up. This is going to be a little weird because I'm used to going over the top, but now I'm going to go under so that that clear glass hits that bead. And I'll just heat it up right at the tip there. There's usually some clear that you can just heat up. It's okay if the coating gets a little hot, but you don't want to really torch it. So I'm going to get my bead hot. I'm going to get my dichro hot, then I'm going to just place it right on the bead and come underneath, and this is where I start to apply the flame. Now, the other thing that's kind of important to remember is that this dichro, it's a lot stiffer than regular glass because I think there's like 30 or 50 layers of dichroic on these dichroic strips. So it's really stiff. So you gotta be patient, you guys, to lay this down. And I will like angle my mandrel just so I can get the strip melted right and lay it down. Don't pull on it. Just sit there, let the dichro get hot, and let it melt in smoothly. If you pull on it, guaranteed to break your bead release. Ask me how I know. Okay, this was looking good. I got this light color magenta and something else, blue was it? And it's going down. And then when I get towards the end here, I'm just gonna pull it off, just like that. There we go. And that is down. Oh, look at that. You can see all kinds of purples and blues. That's neat. Now, when I get this laid down, the other important thing is you have that clear on the top of the color, and you have to kind of marver it down, especially on the edges, because at the edge, you're gonna have this dichro kind of sticking out, and anywhere where that coating is sticking out, it's gonna burn. So I right away go in with my dental tool or a marver and just start kind of tucking the ends of that clear glass around the edge of that dichroic, because I'm trying to cover up any of that dichroic coating that might be exposed to the flame. So again, this takes a little bit just work with it. This is where you get, oh, I told someone this week, the Zen zone of fire. This is the Zen zone of fire. And I have to tell you, it looks way, way cool when you're putting this glass in the flame and you start seeing those purples coming out. Purples and blues and greens and yellows and magenta, just like it said. Now, while I'm doing this, let me just talk to you. I buy my glass, I buy my dichroic from Riley Designs, and Lori Riley sells this by the ounce. So when you buy it by the ounce. And what you get is, I always buy my dichroic in the 1/4 inch width here, and this is about 12 inches in length. So 1 ounce equals about 2 of those 1/4 inch strips. And for me, that's a lot of dichroic, because you know what, I used maybe 1 inch of it on this speed. So just be aware, it's kind of sold differently than your regular glass. So check with your glass suppliers and see how they sell it. I know that Effetre makes a dichroic that you can get, but I don't know how the different distributors sell their dichroic glass. Okay, I think I got most of that in. So now what I want to do, why not? Let's go do another color. This one is cyan copper. I thought that it would be good to like do a cool color dichroic in the magenta, and then kind of put in the copper around that too, and then we'll have a nice loopy loop of dichroic. So I'm going to go in right there, touch it down, bring it underneath, and then we sit here and wait. The hardest part about glass is being patient. Oh my God, I have none. And that looks like it's sticking up a little bit, so let me just poke it down. And I'm actually standing up in front of my torch, which is something I never do. I'm always sitting in a chair. But I don't know, for some reason, the stiffer glass, it just helps if you're standing up and you have your back into it. Put your back into it. I'm just going around in between the loop of the magenta with my copper, just kind of following it around. Hopefully you guys can see this, how it works between my lousy lighting and my lens that I have on my camera. Okay, that looks good. I think I'm gonna pull it off. There we go. All right, then back in with the dental tool to tuck in those edges, just like so. Stay tuned for tomorrow, because oh my gosh, I did this butterfly with dichroic wings. He came out so great. I'm so happy. So I'm going to demo that tomorrow on how to make a monarch butterfly with dichroic wings. I love it when a plan comes together. I had this idea, and I was looking at butterflies the other day, and I had this idea of, oh my God, wouldn't it be cool if his wings were all shiny? And I tried it, and it worked. And it worked the first time. And I was like, oh my God, this looks so great. I'm going to totally do this. So I am just smushing that dichroic down, kind of bumping it up against the magenta dichroic. So it looks like one big old giant dichroic bead. It's a little lumpy right now, so I'm going to have to spend some time kind of getting it smooth, but you don't need to watch that. Also, have your water handy, because this little tool, it gets hot. So you want to be able to keep that tool cool. Keep your tools cool. Okay, I'm going to work on this. I am going to put it in the kiln, and I'll be right back. Hang tight. All right, the final thing I want to show you guys is supposedly you can make stringers out of this dichroic glass. And I saw this from Kate Drew Wilkinson. She has a video on YouTube from like 9 or 10 years ago. So she was the only one who I saw doing this, and I want to give it a shot. I've never done it before, so this is one of those experiments. Let's see what happens. I've got a rod of clear, and according to Miss Wilkerson, you need to encase that raw side of the glass. So I'm going to go ahead and just swipe some clear. Oh, nice swipe, Maria. And break off my clear shorty into the fripple. Let's do this again. I'm going to just swipe some clear over that raw coating. I don't think I have to coat the side that already has the clear glass on it. I'm just going to coat this raw side. So it shouldn't take too many swipes. So up at the tip, I'm pushing it down so I'm getting out all the air bubbles as I swipe. And then I'm getting my clear stuck. And I think I need more fire. And as I'm keeping that dichroic warm, I'm just keeping the clear side in that flame to keep it warm. I don't want to burn the coating off. So that's why I keep that clear side in. And you want to go ahead and coat, make sure that it's coated on the sides as well as that clear, that coating. Okay, that looks good to me. Now, I don't know why, but it just makes sense to me to pull this out in like a ribbon. And I'm gonna smush that clear down a bit, just so that it really fuses and attaches to that raw coating. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna heat it up all the way around. Heat it up all the way around. I'm gonna smash it a bit here. All right, where are my tweezers? I would assume since this is thicker and stiffer that it's gonna take a little effort here. So I'm heating it up. I'm gonna go in with my tweezers and grab that tip. Oh wow, that looks cool. All right, you guys, it's working. It's definitely a thicker stringer, but it's very cool and I love it. Oh my gosh, I might have to do this for tomorrow's butterfly. Okay, you guys, have a great day. I hope that we all learned something about dichroic. Like I said, I will post the links to Riley Designs in the description below, and I'll be back tomorrow with my butterfly. Bye.